What's up guys, Josh here. Today I want to talk about a rather what I believe is a sad topic, and no, it is not about any type of EV topic that I would normally discuss, because a lot of things would be normally about EVs because that's what normally goes on nowadays, but that is not the case for today's video. Today's video is about a millionaire named Rodham Passer who took his Bugatti Chiron on the Autobahn to do a high-speed test run at about 4:50 a.m. So 4:50 in the morning, he decided to do an early morning test run to see how fast his Bugatti Chiron would go, and he got himself into quite some hot water about roughly 2 weeks ago, January 21st to be exact. So things are not going too well for him, and they should. It should be something that should be, a cause for celebration and happiness and joy and things of that nature. But no, it's like in the legal system, all hell's breaking loose with prosecutors, the police, and the German ministry, and just other legal officials, just aren't happy about the whole thing. And normally this is, something that goes on pretty much on a daily basis, but I don't know if it gradually started ticking them off, or it was, I don't know, it was like the last straw before they just decided to make a big deal out of it. But I don't think they should, because number one, there's no speed limit in the section that he did it in. And number two, it's something that there's a chance it's going to get thrown out because of it. But those are details that I'm going to get into a little later into this video. But anyway, Rodham Passer was going nearly 260 miles an hour. He was going 257 miles an hour to be exact. That is 414 kilometers per hour, because in Germany they measure speed in kilometers, not miles. In America, we measure speed in miles per hour. In Germany and other countries, they measure speed in kilometers per hour. And that's just how things are done. But this was all done on the unrestricted Autobahn. It wasn't like it was done part where the Autobahn has a speed limit. If it had a speed limit, that would be a completely different story. Even though this guy clearly broke no laws, the police still investigated, and the police and prosecutors are still trying to find something to charge this guy with. It's just ridiculous, if you ask me, because they should just let it go. Things like this in Germany happen all the time. Yeah, I mean, 250 miles an hour, 414 kilometers an hour is probably a little faster than you would normally see on the Autobahn, but it's not something to get triggered about. Oh my god, that guy's going 200? That guy's going 414 kilometers per hour? That guy's a menace to society. No, he's not. No, he's not. Relax, relax. No, he needs to be stopped. He needs to never see a car behind a wheel moving again. I don't know. That's what a majority of Americans may think. So, anyway, these videos are uploaded to the driver's personal channel as far back as July of 2021, which was last July. So, shows clips of him, doing runs and some other causes of celebration and some preparation for the run. It's not like this guy has no experience in driving. He seems to have many years of driving experience. We're talking probably roughly 4 decades of driving experience. That's a lot of driving experience. So this guy would have 260 miles an hour. This guy is not an amateur at driving. We need to keep that in mind. It's not like this guy just hopped into a high-performance car for the first time. It's not like somebody coming from America and going onto the Autobahn for the very first time and hopping into a super ultra high-performance car of any kind that goes well over 200 miles an hour. That's something to consider. So as far as safety measures go, the driver said the run was completed at 4:50 a.m. local time there. So that's a time where just about anywhere there's hardly anybody on the road. When this goes to court, that should be an ultimate argument factor. But if he hires a lawyer, I hope this guy hires a lawyer because he's facing like 2 years in prison if this guy gets convicted. So imagine like in the US. Forget it. If this guy did that in the US, he'd be done. He'd be toast. He'd be looking at reckless driving, reckless endangerment, and a whole spiel of charges that prosecutors in the US would be adding. It looked like a whole receipt of like groceries of like when it snows in certain states. It'd be like hilarious in a way, but just like hilarious in like regards to like how long it would be, but it would be stupid because like I'm the type of person that believes that we need a system like the Autobahn. We need a system that trains people how to properly drive, not just a simple parallel parking job. And then boom, you get your license at 16, 17 years old and you're on your way. No, when the whole process is just way too easy to get a license in the US. That's why there's so many accidents. It's partly because of people, and it's mostly because of our driver's training system ultimately sucks because of part of the reason I just mentioned. So, you think that would change, but no. Just a little more one thing, I don't want to go too much off topic, but our speed limits, like, especially like on the highways and stuff. Now, in the US, our speed limits are set drastically lower than even the speeds that the average flow of traffic moves at. It's basically set 20, 30 miles per hour less than what people actually drive. Like, you know, if it's 50, like in a highway in the New York area, people do 70, 80. You know, they do like 20, 30 plus over. And anywhere else, it varies because it depends on, you know, what kind of road, you know, so on and so forth. I'm a believer, I don't know about any of you out there, but I believe our majority of our speed limits are set to generate revenue and not to keep people safe because of the fact that a cop will never write a cop another traffic ticket. They'll never write the family member of a cop another traffic ticket. District attorney, the senator could virtually do whatever they want on the road and not have to worry about a ticket or getting arrested. You know, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. You see videos of cops pulling over cops and them getting off scot-free and things that an average Joe would get yanked out of the car and put in handcuffs and hauled off to jail in 2 seconds. So that's where that's at. Yeah, so our roads. But anyway, you know, just wanted to give you just a tad bit of views on that. And anyway, that topic is for a whole nother video. If any of you want to know my views on the traffic system, you just got like basically the gist of it. Let me know down in the comment section if you want to see it, and I'll be more than glad to sit in front of all of you and talk about it some more. So anyway, getting back to this driver, the driver said that he had driven the route that he had done the high-speed test run beforehand, so nothing bad would happen. He did this so there would be no unexpected curves or turns or, you know, anything like that. You know, no unexpected sharp turn, and now I'm upside down. So, you look at the official video that was uploaded, like, this looked really, really cool. Like, not only to be there in person, but to see it in the comfort of your own home and just watch and imagine what was going on when that whole event was taking place. So it wasn't only entertaining to the people participating in the event, it was the driver and one other person. So it was entertaining to, of course, everyone else watching on the internet. But of course, the authorities and other officials, you know, didn't agree. So that's where that stands. Police in the German province of Saxony-Anhalt. Saxony-Anhalt is a state in Germany in the capital Magdeburg, which is where this high-speed run took place. Police say that their file has been passed on to prosecutors who are still viewing the files and seeing if they can charge this guy with anything that they would like. Reckless driving, no. Reckless danger, What else? No? Dang it! So anyway, you get my point. It's probably what they're doing right now at the time of this recording. Now here's what the regional's transport chief, not sure if I'm saying this correctly, Lydia Hushkins, said, quote for quote, "Drivers must behave responsibly when there is no speed limit." And, quote for quote, "In this case, there are certainly very serious doubts as to whether that happened." So, I don't know. She is right. You absolutely must drive responsibly whether there's a speed limit or not. To be honest, there's no speed limit, there's no speed limit. Yes, you shouldn't go 4 times faster than everyone else is going, but you shouldn't be heavily penalized or penalized at all just because of any speed you're going if there's legally no speed limit in place. Now, we all know what happened with that guy in North Carolina that did 198 in a Dodge Hellcat, uploaded that online and got arrested. That's basically what's going on here, but it's quite different. Yep, so like I said, prosecutors are still considering filing charges even though he did absolutely nothing wrong. And I personally hope, honest to God, that this guy walks out of court a free man. I don't know why it would take 6 months for the government to catch up. If that were the U.S., it'd probably take a couple days, if anything. Maybe not even, maybe sooner, who knows. I highly doubt it would take very long, but never underestimate. The police in the U.S. are always looking on YouTube for people doing crazy stuff in their cars because they know that's where they post it, on YouTube and stuff, or sometimes Facebook or Instagram or any of those sites. The German authorities said that the driver's actions were likely unsafe. Notice how I said likely. So they're not saying that they may have been unsafe. I don't think they were unsafe at all, because if you look at the video in the part where he was doing nearly 260 miles an hour, there was one other car in the right lane, and the driver doing nearly 260 miles an hour was all the way in the left lane, the passing lane. So he was keeping his distance, so that shows that he was considering the safety of himself and everyone else on the road, so kudos to him for doing that. So prosecutors are reportedly deciding what to do, even though it wasn't clear that he broke a single law. Like I said, just let this go. I think they should just let this go. This guy has... I know I sound like a semi-broken record, but I think they really need to just let this case go. Just drop it. Just drop it and move on. Forget about it. Move on to other stuff. There's plenty of other things to worry about than some guy flying up the highway going nearly 260 miles an hour at nearly 5 o'clock in the morning when there's no one else on the road. So it seems like now the German Transportation Ministry issued a statement about this as well, mainly against the driver. Now I will say, quote for quote, that it rejects any behavior in road traffic that leads or can lead to endangering road users. Now, that I can understand. I can understand, in a way, I like the fact that they're looking out for all the other drivers on the road, but at the same time, I don't like the fact that they're making such a big deal out of this when there's plenty of other worse things to be doing at much slower speeds, like drunk driving, texting and driving, and even not keeping right except to pass, which hardly ever happens in Germany. In the U.S., forget about it. People in the U.S., I like it in this lane. Let everybody else deal with me. It's their problem if they don't like it. No. Get to the right. If you want to drive slower, fine. But get to the right. Don't block the left lane for others who want to pass you, because that creates a hazard as well. A spokeswoman said it is being looked at as a possible banned car race. Really? This guy wasn't racing anybody. You know, like, this guy wasn't doing burnouts or street racing, or he wasn't alongside anybody. It was just him. Like, come on, give him a break. Like, the racing part, which is the thing that can give him up to 2 years in prison. So, I think now thinking about it as I'm talking about this, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to get thrown out. And I'm going to be rooting and cheering for this guy. And I'm going to be relieved to hear that, you know, this guy is walking out of court a free man and having nothing to worry about from that case for the rest of his life. Although the file's being reviewed by prosecutors, there's no timeline for the charges, so I'm not sure how the statute of limitations would work, but in America we have statute of limitations for just about every crime you can imagine except for murder. So don't kill anybody. There has been some talk for quite a while now that Germany wants to put a speed limit in place for the entire Autobahn. You know, I've heard a little bit of talk of that a while back, but what they want to do is put an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit on the entire stretch of the Autobahn. So, you know, if that happened, that would be really, really depressing to not only people in Germany, but that would be really depressing to people like me and anyone else who goes to Germany to visit Germany just for that purpose, to drive on a highway as fast as you literally want without having to worry in the slightest form about getting pulled over and either getting a massive ticket or arrested for reckless driving, endangerment, or having a whole spiel of charges that you could be facing, and the cop felt like he or she could even charge you with evading. So you could still say, oh, I didn't know. And they'll be like, yeah, you know, we know you were running from me. You'll be like, yeah, you know, I know you were running from me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, I know how runners drive. Okay, whatever. Kind of like that. I hope Germany never puts a speed limit, you know, on all parts of the Autobahn, but I hope if they do, it's not for, at the bare minimum, at least another 15-20 years. I hope not even then. I hope not ever, but I have a feeling it may happen just because of this incident. But I really hope it doesn't. Germany's Autobahn is referred to like the Second Amendment of guns in America. So if Germany put a speed limit on the entire highway, I mean, you might as well just put super strict gun control in America. I'm not going to talk politics here. Now, according to the NPR, 70% of Germany's Autobahn highway system has no speed limit. So that means only 30% of Germany's highway, of the German Autobahn, has a speed limit. So definitely most of it has no speed limit. And that's as of 2015. So let's hope things don't change. I hope things work out the best for this man. Rodham Passer, you have my back. I hope to see you walking out of court a free man. So if you ever see this video, just know you're on my side. And I'm surprised to see that Germany is like ticked off about this whole thing. Like, come on, this happens all the time. That would be like the US being really angry over like a viral gun video that's completely safe and positive and just people having a good time, like at a shooting range, and things just go berserk from there. And that was just my chair. You know, I hope if some reason Germany does institute speed limits on the whole highway system, I hope all of you Germans are protesting the living crap out of the whole speed limit thing, because they do not deserve it at all. So, I don't know. Maybe, you know, a nice positive protest will just keep doing what you're doing, before the speed limit got put in place. So, not burning down buildings and destroying and vandalizing other pieces of property, and because that's how you lose. That's negative energy. Someone with a brain would know that. Another positive way would be like holding signs, maybe standing outside of, you know, the Prime Minister's office, or whoever set the laws in place have a peaceful protest, letting them know your concerns, and to unrestrict all parts of the Autobahn that were unrestricted before the speed limits got put in place. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Well, anyway, with that is it for this video. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss out one of my videos. And along with that, I'll see you next time. And subscribe, of course.